If you are, if kindly mute your mic. So sorry, I would need somebody to help me manage that. So please, I would suggest that we all mute our mics. Right, good. So I want to say a big welcome, everyone. Confidence, please help us take attendance so that we know the people that are here and the people we are going to, check out of the train. This is 8:15. We've waited 15 minutes. I just wanted as many people as possible to come in. I know we just finished fellowship at our end, right? So let's go straight into this conversation now. This onboarding is very important, it's very crucial. Why are we here? Why are we be here? The challenge tonight is for us to dare to influence. And this is the whole idea. We want to move from being shaped by the system to shaping the system. Now, there's something I will tell us point blank as we go into this. See, in the world of influence, you cannot sit on the fence. You cannot sit on the fence. You are either the influencer or you are being influenced. Someone says it this way, that it's either you are a part of you are a part of the train, or you are a part of the road. So you cannot play neutral when it comes to the world of influence. What many of us have believed is that, when you know God, just do your own thing in your own little corner. But the truth is that we are not representing Christ well when we just do our own things, when we are not shining our lights, right? So the objective of this whole program is to awaken our spiritual and strategic awareness about the invisible power battles for attention and influence online, and to equip everyone with the conviction, the mindset, the responsibility, and tools to build digital authority for godly impact. Let me take that again. The whole objective of this program is to awaken your spiritual and strategic awareness. The whole objective of this program is to awaken your spiritual and strategic awareness about the invisible power battles for attention and influence online, so as to equip you with a conviction, mindset, responsibility, and tools to build digital authority for godly impact. Now, note those four words. They are very important: conviction, mindset, responsibility, and tools. So like I encouraged us, you need to have writing materials, because I will not give you the notes. And what we will share is the tools, and then we will give us tasks for each day, right? Tonight, we will not really have any tasks because we are onboarding. The reason we are having this onboarding tonight is because we want to start July 1. July 1 is on a Tuesday, and there's no how we will start on Tuesday and then still be able to do the 30 days plan, right? So that's the idea behind starting tonight, and then tomorrow we'll take the first module for the entire program. And then so tomorrow we are also going to let us know our day of meeting. I have not had time to analyze the questionnaires, so it's been a very long weekend, trust me. So I've not had time to analyze the questionnaire. So we analyze the questionnaire based on the time and the day that we all said will be most convenient for us. So once I have those details, then we'll communicate it in the group, and then we will be able to know which way to go. So that's how we're going to make it work, right? So this is very crucial for every one of us, and I would really like us to pay attention to those things. So let's go to the ground rules, right? So what we're doing tonight, we're going to look at the introduction, the ground rules, the program flow, opening challenge. We'll also have digital domination, the battlefield, show up or perish, platform influencers, and then we look at the recap and the next step. So remember, it's supposed to be for 2 hours. Please don't slip off on us. I will call your name at random so you cannot sleep in the course of this. All of us have to be awake. We don't enter this one. The see, building influence is no joke. That video I shared with us is the social dilemma. If I can upload it somewhere for you to download, I will try to upload it, but as much as possible. If you have Netflix, you can get that movie. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I think it came out about 3-4 years ago, so I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but if you can't get it, fine. So these are the ground rules for the for our engagement. And I think before we go into the ground rules, let's take some conversation, right? So let's interact. So I know when I share this whole idea, we had things in our head like, oh, this is why I am coming here. This is, I think I need this. So I want to ask us a question, like, let's interact a bit before we go into, all the conversations and all. So I would like 3-4 volunteers, just share with us, what are your expectations for this program? I know we put something down in the questionnaire, but I don't want to the questionnaire thing. I want us to talk, right? So what are your expectations? Why did you sign up? Because your why is very important, right? So let's have like 3 or 4 volunteers. Just share with us, why did you sign up for this program? What are your expectations? Do you think, oh, somebody being on your neck for 30 days is going to be something you really want to do? So Emmanuel, please go ahead.
What? Oh, okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I just wanted to upgrade my digital knowledge and see how I can apply it in whatever I am doing, business, life, and everything. So that's basically why I wanted to participate. That's just me. I just wanted to upgrade my digital knowledge.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yes.
Mrs. Victoria, you want to say something now?
Yes, sir.
All right, please go ahead now. Yes, you can.
When I checked my reach yesterday on Facebook was like 26,000. And I dream of a time is that they just told me that I'll be able to reach like 5 million people as in the at a time in the future. And if it goes 5 million people actually see me. So I'm dreaming of something like that. So anything digital
So please
Emmanuel,
don't
can you
do
please mute?
Oh,
Please, if you are not talking, please mute. It's echoing.
oh, sorry. Thank you.
Omoyemi Taiwo, please mute. All right, you can go ahead, ma'am.
Can you hear me now?
This is a lot better now. Thank you.
Yes, I had an earpiece. Okay, I was saying that my reach for this month on Facebook was like 26,000. And I have a dream, kind of, and it's as if God has told me that there'll be a time I'll be able to reach like 5 million people at the same time. I dream of having great influence on social media. So anything that will increase
Enhance it.
my I will go in for it. So that's why I'm here.
Oh, I'm really, I'm so fired up by that. Thank you so much for sharing, man. All right, any other person who would like to share? Why do you think this is very important for you? All right, any person, anybody. So let me call someone. Okay, somebody chatted me off. Mrs. Lintia, can you Can you share with us why you think this is very important to you? Because I know we had a chat less than 30 minutes ago, right? So why is this important for you? Why is this important for you? So,
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for putting me in the spot. Good evening, everyone.
good
Well, what I
evening.
think is important for me, just as my auntie Victoria said, I do business. I have two organization where I operate as the leader, or and I want to reach out to more people with my business. I want to put my business more on social media. Though I have a Facebook account, but I think I can do more when I see people selling on Facebook, Instagram. So I just want to achieve more on that. Then also I have a group I'm starting, a connection group for young people intending to get married, something like that. So I want to know, I want to get more knowledge about this tech thing so that I'll be able to reach out to more people and be bold enough to come out and speak on live podcast. So that's the reason. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. You can meet now. All right. So, thank you so much for sharing. Very powerful. So, I like the fact that we all have something we're looking forward to. So, now, the reason I said this thing has to go 30 days non-stop, no breaks in between, is because I have come to realize that we cannot achieve meaningful impacts without commitment. So, the first rule of this engagement is that from July 1 to July 30, there will be no break. You must post something every day. So, both on our WhatsApp group and on your social handle, you must make that commitment to show up daily for 30 days. No matter how imperfect it may be, there will be a task for every day. By tomorrow, we will start the rolling out of tasks. So we'll be giving you daily tasks. So we'll give you the night before so that you have time to think about what you want to do, and then you have the whole day to execute, right? So there's a task for every day for the next 30 days. So it is your responsibility to show up daily, even if it is imperfect, right? Good. Then number two is confidentiality. So when people share their post and all, you cannot just repost, without seeking consent. So sometimes we will ask you to share your testimonials, we ask you to share your story on the WhatsApp group. When people share their stories, maintain their confidentiality. Without seeking permission, you are not allowed to share to another group or share out of that group. That is one of the important things we need to pay attention to. The number three is that you will get a strike if you miss a day, right? So um, you are allowed to miss only 2 days out of the entire 30 days. When you miss your third day out of the 30 days, you are a goner. We will have to eject you out of the platform, right? So the best thing is not to miss any day, so that the day you will truly, truly, truly need to miss, which I think, as long as you are breathing, you don't have any excuse, right? So I trust God that there will be no what we call acts of God that will make it impossible for you to post. That will not happen, right? So if you miss a day, you get a strike, but on the when you miss the third day, you'll be yanked off the program, right? And consistency is greater than perfection. Done is better than perfect. It's still the same thing with commitment. So you must trust the process. You might post the first day, the second day, the fifth day, and it looks like nobody is engaging, right? We are still going to share with us our rules of engagement, all right? So that somebody is not feeling like, oh, I'm posting, nobody is liking my post. I'm posting, nobody is liking my post, So we will still share the rules of engagement. So, but the truth is, done is better than perfect. You must trust the process. Don't say, oh, because I posted on day one, I posted on day five, nothing is happening, then that means it's not working. No, it doesn't happen like that. You must trust the process, right? And obey platform etiquette as much as possible. One of the things you will learn in the course of this is how to keep your profiles clean, relevant, and value driven. Everything that shows up on your profile should be clean and relevant. You must always put out content. Like someone says, put your best foot forward. You must always put out content that shows that you really know what you're doing, that shows that you mean business, right? Then we're going to do something right about now. Okay, it's 30 minutes into it. Before I fire into the main content, we're going to have cohort escorts, right? So we're going to suggest 5 persons that we coordinate the entire team, because the truth is that there are only 3 of us who put all of these things together. So the running around, marking attendance and all, we want you guys to do that among yourselves. All we have to do is to provide guidelines, and then okay, when you do this, you just report to us, and then you help us to monitor the group. So we are going to do election now. So somebody will nominate somebody, and if anybody is in favor, then the people say aye, and then we nominate the person. So look, go through the list of people online right now, right? So there are about 32 of us. My presentation makes it 33, about 32 of us online. So minus the meeting host. So Mr. Confidence is also one of the facilitators. You will still hear his voice as time goes by. And Mr. Sam, I don't think he told us he's going to be in another meeting, but he'll be joining us as soon as possible. So just go through the list and let's see who and who should be our coordinators. So we're going to have a chairman, a vice chairman, and 3 supporting ESCOs, right? So let's nominate. Let's do that fast in 2-3 minutes, right? So somebody nominates somebody. If nobody is talking, I will call somebody to nominate. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate anyone on the call, right? So drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. Okay, so Kekelomo Adeleke, right? I want you to nominate someone. Kekelomo Adeleke, are you on this call? If I call your name and you are not on this call, that means you are not here. We are yanking you off. Kekelomo Adeleke, are you here? Hope
Yes,
you are
I'm
not
here. Good
sleeping
evening.
or not. Good evening, ma'am. So can you please
Okay.
nominate someone, or you want to nominate yourself?
Mm, okay. We'll nominate Tosin Oladipo.
Okay, Tosin Oladipo. How many of us are in support of Tosin Oladipo being one of our coordinators? If I support, say hi. Just unmute and say hi, or you can show from the reaction. Okay, so from the reaction, we have Tosin Oladipo. So Tosin Oladipo, you have been nominated. You choose nominate somebody. Nominate somebody to work with you.
Who I'm about to nominate is a cheat. It's funny. I wanted to nominate. I wanted to nominate my wife,
Okay.
but I do. I will nominate Victoria Samuel.
Okay. Victoria Samuel. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Okay. You're beautiful. All right, Victoria Samuel. So, Mrs.
Hi.
Victoria, you have been nominated. So you to nominate someone. All right, Mrs. Victoria, nominate someone. You have
Yes,
been
I will
nominated.
nominate Brother Shiu.
Sheon
Sean Philip.
Philip. Sheon Philip, right?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. So, Sean Philip, you're on the call. We need two more persons. So, Sean Philip, you have been called. You are on the hot spot right now. So, nominate someone. So, Mrs. Kushimo, are you nominating yourself? Please, I need you to unmute. I thought you are nominating yourself. Mr. Sheung, you have been nominated. You need to unmute now. And
No, no, not really. I'm not nominating
Not
myself.
really. I'm not nominating.
oh, okay. All right. So, Mr. Sheung, who do you want to be on your team?
Who
There
do
are
you
three of
want to
you
be on
right
your
now.
team? There are three of you right now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll be nominating Mr. Femi Ogunfidodo.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
Mr. Femi Ogunfidodo. I'll be nominating him. I can see.
Femi, I'm trying to look for the
Tell
name.
me,
Are you
I'm
sure
trying
the
to look
person
for
is
the
on
name.
this
Are you
call?
sure the person is
Olufemi Folusho, right?
Yes, sir.
Olufemi Folusho, right?
Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes, that's the
Okay,
person.
so
That's the person.
okay, Femi Folusho,
okay,
that's
Femi Folusho,
Ogunfidodo,
that's
okay.
okay.
So, Mr. Femi, you have been nominated. You have the opportunity to select the last person. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Mr. Femi Folusho. We can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening, everyone.
Oh, better now. Good evening.
Uh, um, I nominate Mr. Dinowo Ashai.
Okay. You already raised this, and this team is not balanced. So there's only one woman. Can you nominate a woman? Sorry,
That was what
I
I wanted
nullify
to say. Sir.
I nullify your
Okay.
nomination. There's only one woman on the group.
No, noted, sir.
Oh yeah. Look around and nominate a woman.
Okay. Um, sorry, a minute, please. A minute, please. Coming.
Who is name not available? You need to rename yourself. Oh. So, Mr. Femi, let's
Sorry,
go
sorry,
ahead.
just now.
Just
Nominate someone. Okay, I nominate someone. I don't know. Miss or Mrs. Buki. I've seen a name here, Buki, on the list.
Buki
So I nominate.
Fasoni,
I
right?
nominate the person. Yes, please.
Okay. So all in favor say aye. So Mrs. Bukola Fasomi, you're on the coordinators list, right? So I've noted the coordinators. So we'll be communicating with the coordinators in the course of the conversation. All right. All right. Sorry for the breaking transmission. Right, good. So let's go straight into our conversation tonight. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm super excited that we are making some really good progress. Right. So what happened? My tab went off. Okay. That means I need to reshare. Whoa. Okay. All right. So let's go straight into this. So the question I want to ask us as we start this conversation tonight is, who is shaping you? Who is shaping you? You know, one of the things that we need to really pay attention to is the fact that sometimes we think we are in control, but the reality is that someone else is in control. Who is shaping you? Who is behind the content that shapes your feed? What values are you unconsciously absorbing every day? How many of your choices are truly your own? So let me give you a typical example of this shaping thing. So during the last election, for example, each party gave us what or who they believe is their best candidate, right? So we had all the parties, APC, PDP, Labour Party, ANPP, you know, each party presented who they believe is best that can give them or that can help them to achieve the manifestos or the objectives of their party. So let me ask you a question. If you were not among the people who chose who won the primaries, can you truly say that you had a choice? Did somebody hear that question? If you were not among the people who determined the person who won the primaries, can you truly say that you had a choice? Let's hold that
No.
thought. Let's hold that thought. You know, so because sometimes when we say you have a choice, you have a choice, most times your choice is limited to the options that life presents to you. I don't know if somebody is getting what I'm saying tonight. Your choice is limited to the options that life presents to you. So the point is, who is shaping you? It is the options you have that you select from, to the point of the things that we believe, to the point of how we see life, to the point of how of our worldview, of what we think about people. It is the options that are presented to you. When I was growing up as a Christian, one of the messages you hear almost every day is the message of consecration. Sometimes you go to church and you are crying for your life, like, God help me, God help me, God help me. I want to live a holy life. I want to live for you and all. That is the message you hear. Over time, the message tend, to bend a little, and then we started talking about, influence, about impact, about prosperity. Now, there is a generation that did not know there was a time when all you wanted to do is to just love on God and just hold on to Him. There's a generation now that everything they wanted is just give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. Right? I was sharing with someone today that when I was a bit younger, I know I'm still very young, but I knew there was a time in our country where when we were traveling, you see people selling farm produce. They put the produce by the roadside. Then in a bottle, they will write the price of that produce, put it in a bottle by the side. Then travelers will go, carry the produce they want to buy and put the money in the bottle without anybody supervising it. I saw a bit of that when I was growing up. That was a choice that was available to us then. Now, do you think this generation have that choice? They did not have that option because they did not see it. So when we're talking about trust, many of them cannot even understand what this thing means. And how is it being controlled now? It is through the digital media. The algorithms aren't neutral. They are designed to hijack attention, drive emotion, and manipulate behavior for profit. So all those things we see online, all those things we see online, they are designed to hijack attention, drive emotion, and manipulate behavior for profit. So it's important that for us as a people, that we pay attention to these things, that we look around and say, look, what are the options that are truly available for me, right? So why is this part of the conversation important? Is because we are saying that we want us to be producers, not just consumers, because being a producer gives you options. Being a consumer means that it is what the producer gives that you get. For example, if you want to buy toothpaste and you enter a store, it is the options the seller displays on their shelf. It is from those options that you pick. So sometimes you have a particular product in mind, a particular brand in mind, and you enter the shop, but they don't have. And for those of us who are truly adventurous, you will check some other places because you are a fan or you are loyal to that particular brand. But then you check and you can't really find that brand. What do you do eventually? Because you need that product, then you settle for the brand that is available, even though that is not the one you want, right? So the question is, what is catching your attention? What is driving your emotion? What is manipulating your behavior? Who is manipulating your behavior for profit? Right? So I gave us a promise that I was going to make up for that video. I want us to see a very short clip, right? I want us to see a very short clip, and from there you would see what we are talking about this choice thing. It's very short, but please pay attention. Pay attention to what this is about, right? So
the richest
we should be able to. Can
in
you?
the history of humanity. The richest companies in the history of humanity.
The misconception that it's
All right, so that's a clip from the video I shared earlier, right? So just to help us see, and to emphasize the fact that someone somewhere is feeding you, monitoring you every step of the way. I don't know if this has happened to you before. You are having a conversation with someone and you mention some products. Then a few seconds or minutes after you open your phone, then you start seeing adverts about the conversation you just had. What does that tell you? Even your voice is supplying data. And once the algorithm picks what you are saying, then they say, oh, that means that is of interest to you. And then they begin to show you more and more, things like that. So I want you to ponder on this. If you are not paying for the product, you are the product. So there are a lot of free products we're using these days, but many of us are not paying attention. Right? You have free Gmail, free Facebook, free Instagram, free LinkedIn, all of those platforms, free TikTok, and all of that. So if you are not paying for the product, you are the product. And like I said, algorithms are in neutral. They are designed to hijack attention, drive emotion, and manipulate behavior for profit. So in the course of our conversation, I will be explaining to you why is this important for you as a believer in the marketplace, and why you should pay attention so that you know what is happening. So let's go into one vital part of our conversation, which is the 4 dimensions of impact. The 4 dimensions of impact. This one is very, 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 very crucial. I'm telling you. So the 4 stages of digital world domination. And interestingly, this is a template from scriptures, right? How does Satan start? It starts from deception. From deception, he moves to distraction. From distraction, he moves to dependence. From dependence, then there's dominance. That is the core of the heart. What the world wants to get through is to get to the root. And if you're going to be an influencer online, you must be able to also use this tool in the opposite. I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain how it works, and I will give you practical examples, right? So what is deception? Deception is redefining truth subtly. Deception is redefining truth subtly. Let me show you how this works in the opposite, right? If you want to use this approach, right, as a believer in the marketplace, it is redefining falsehood subtly. Redefining falsehood. So you change that truth to falsehood. There are a lot of falsehood out there. But if you're going to fight falsehood, you cannot come to the world and tell them you are fighting them. Already you have built a brick between you and the person you are trying to reach out to. So how do you influence people? You influence people without them knowing that you're influencing them. That is true influence. True influence is when you are able to change people's mindset without telling them you are changing their mindset. That is influence, right? So let me give you an example of someone who does this a lot, right? We all know Aproko Doctor, right? Aproko Doctor looks like something that everybody is doing, and then he debunks it. For example, there was this day I saw this video of cotton board, like, and then this guy said, if you have been putting this thing inside your ear, you are going to go deaf. And everybody was like, how do you mean? Like, why would I do this? So this is a practice, something that everybody does all the time. Then this guy brings out facts to help us see that by putting the cotton board into your hair, you are actually damaging your eardrum. That is redefining falsehood. So that practice has been ongoing for a very long time, but somebody was bold enough to confront us with the truth, right? So that is a way to use that thing in the positive light. There are many things people believe. What do they believe about church? What do they believe about your business? What do they believe about your field? So when you look at popular beliefs, for example, as a business person, why are people not patronizing you? Why are they not buying? If you can list all those, for example, if you can list 52 reasons why people are not buying a particular product, then you now start looking for how to ensure that you debunk each of those reasons. What have you done? You've created a content for a year. If you are posting once per week, that is a content for a year. 52 reasons why people are not buying real estate, for example. And then you Say for this week, we'll go with reason 1, you debunk it. Reason 2, we debunk it. Reason 3, you debunk it. It is the same way. But the reality is that those people that are debunking truth are more than those that are debunking falsehood. Someone shared an experience with me yesterday. You know, we had service in our church. We went out to reach out to people. And the person said that she met someone who has stopped going to church. Why did this guy stop going to church? Because of the things he has been hearing about churches and pastors online. That was his reason for not going to church. The guy said no, that he was tired. But then he saw someone who spoke another way, and it's like, wow, so this is what I've been missing all these years. Why did I leave the church? And the guy said, you know what? I'm going to go with you to your church. Right? So deception. And it's subtle. Every attack on the church is a message that do not go to church, and many people don't even know it. Every attack on your industry is a message that people should not buy from you. That's the simple truth. So if somebody is speaking against your industry, don't say, oh, after all, it is not your brand. See, the way it works is that people will bring all of you together. So if somebody is failing in a particular field and they're doing something wrong, bring out the truth in it and then begin to debunk the false. We are redefining it, right? So it's important that we are able, to do this. Bring, you simplify complex ideas into slogans, into small things that people can easily think about, and that will make them to understand this thing. So the objective here is to distort perception so that lies look like truth and truth looks extreme, outdated, or foolish. That is how the world sees it. So how do we turn this around to distort the perception so that what the lie that has become their truth then becomes lie to them, because somebody is bold enough to tell them the way it is, right? So that is what we are saying here. And how do you do it? You are planting doubt in the minds of people that you have always believed in this particular way. Why don't you think this way? Remember Jesus, you have heard, but now I say. You have heard, but now I say. That is the typical example of what we are saying here, right? I hope somebody got that. If you got it, let me see. Just show an emoji to show that you are still with me. Show an emoji to show you are with me if you got that, and I hope you are writing something down, right? Yeah, good. Good. So the second stage is the stage of distraction. So when people come to the point where once you buy that hook, the next thing is that you will be distracted. And how does distraction works is by fragmenting attention. Distraction is fragmenting attention, right? You want people to feel good, to feel happy, to feel nice about themselves. So that way, you are able to create something that will give them, oh, I think I like what I'm doing. For people who are doing Christian content, basically this is what this thing is about, especially for musicians. So you listen sometimes when you are down, or sometimes you don't even know how to pray. Then you start playing somebody's music, and then the person, as you're singing along, the person is taking your mind off the challenge, and then it's helping you, to focus. For someone like me, I love jazz a lot, right? When I need to read and I want to help myself to get into the mood, I just play jazz, just pure instrumentals, right? Sometimes gospel that I know the song, I'm singing along in my mind. Sometimes I just want neutral jazz because I don't want distractions. I just want to hear the music. What it does is that it distracts you from focusing on whatever challenge may be around you, and then it helps you to, pay attention to the important things that you need to do. So for us as a people, you need to feed people's dopamine, right? You need to make them feel good with your content. Making them feel good means that as you are debunking their falsehood, You are also giving them a hook, something that interests them, that will make them to want to be like, oh, I think I like what this person is saying. Oh, I think so you must be able to do that. And sometimes all you have to do is not necessarily a long something. Sometimes just 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. The shorter the hook you are using to capture attention, the better it is to boost that person's dopamine, and then they are looking for more, and then they are looking for more. Before you know it, they are there on your platform, and they just want more, and they want more, and they want more. So that is it. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to scatter focus. So the objective under distraction is to scatter focus, so that you make it harder for people to hold on to their beliefs, whatever it is they believe. Now, the people of the world use it to attack the people in the church. It is time for believers to also use the same tools. So if you're hearing this right now, you are thinking like a businessman. You are also thinking like a Christian. You are wearing two caps at the same time. Or let me say it this way: you are wearing a cap, it's a Christian cap. You are a Christian in the marketplace, right? So whatever it is you are selling, you want to scatter people's focus, whatever it is they are holding on to as their truth, so that it's difficult for them to hold on to those beliefs. Like, this is what you believe, you shatter it. That way you've distracted them, you are creating distractions, right? So that is the third level. Then the second level, rather, the third level is the level of dependence. What then happens when people get to that point where they are distracted? Then they are always looking forward to that content. They are always looking forward to that content. The same way some people cannot live their lives except they play a particular kind of music in the morning. For some people, they need to join a prayer meeting, online. So it becomes a dependence thing. Like, my day is not complete if I have not listened to this person. So look at the journey, right? The first thing is that you create deception in quotes, right? Meaning that you are turning their minds around. Then the second thing is you bring them to a point of distraction where they can no longer focus and hold on to what they used to believe. Then the third thing is to bring them to a place of dependence. At this point, you are rewiring their identity. You are changing their mind from what they have always believed to what you want them to believe. Now, remember this thing: if you are not an influencer, you are being influenced. You cannot stand on the fence. If you are not an influencer, somebody is influencing you. That's the truth. If you are not speaking up, you are listening to somebody. That means you are getting from someone. That's what it means. So why we are doing all of this is that you want people to get to the point where they always look forward to your content, forward. Then what can you do to help them create this dependence? Sometimes you see people do giveaways. I mean, of course, I've seen people do giveaways. Like, oh, you give out a child card, you say, oh, today I'm giving out 1 million. And then you say, if you do a content, so let me see, this is how these guys do it, right? So they create a song and they say, then they create a context around it. And they say, if you can sing the song, then the person with the most likes and comments will win the prize. Then you see a lot of people going out doing that song, right? What do you think that person is doing? Dependence. Is giving them something to hook on, So the same way you are trying to encourage your people, your followers, as they followed you to this point, you are giving them something. Give them a task to do. Okay, guys, go and do this. Guys, go and do that. As you're doing that, you know what you're doing? you are helping them. So at a point, so I don't know if you watch some of these online prayers. Somebody's leading prayer and the heat of it, the person says, now begin to share, share. Then in my mind, I'm like, whoa, this is an inspiration. Like there's an inspiration to share while praying. Like, so it is part of what we are, that is dependence. So you see that this person, right, is already hooked. So they're always looking forward to press the share button. That's wiring, right? So we need to understand that what you are achieving at this stage is to create identity. To create identity, you want the person to identify with your brand, with your person, with your message, whatever it is your message is. So I'm saying this to us both as business people and as kingdom people. So you need to be able to interpret these things in a way that works for your business, right? So you are creating, that identity, helping people. So it is at this point where you see people becoming brand ambassadors, where for every post you see people just share. They are just looking forward to the next post to share, right? And it takes time to get people on this journey, and that is why we must learn to always pay attention. Then the first stage is the stage of domination. The stage of domination, right? It is at this stage that you begin to control choices and culture. You control choices and culture. I said something earlier. You can only choose out of the options that you have, right? So if the options people have are people that are contrary to your own values, where will they choose from? That's the point. That's the point. You are into a particular line of business, you are not showing up. Some other guys are showing up. The algorithm is showing them their content. When they need to make a decision, who are they going to point out to? That's the point we're talking about here. Nobody cares what you have. Nobody cares what, as long as you are not seen, as long as you are not known, you are not an option. That is what it means. People only choose from the options available to them. That's why we're saying we need to show up so that we also can become an option. That is what this whole thing is about. If you don't get anything tonight, I want us to get this and get it straight. The whole idea behind all of this thing is that if you are not an option, you cannot be a choice. Somebody needs to write that down. If you are not an option, you cannot be a choice. If you are not an option, you cannot be a choice. If you are not an option, you cannot be a choice. So the fourth level of dominance is the place where you become an option. And then you push from becoming an option to becoming the choice. That is why you see platforms are fighting to be number one. You become the choice. Like if somebody needs to listen to anybody in my field, we're still going to talk about branding, about positioning yourself. So we have a lot to still cover in the course of these 30 days. Trust me, we're still going to talk about that. We have experts in the house. Hallelujah. Right. So we're still going to talk about a lot of things. So I want us to, let's gear up, right? Because it's going to be amazing. So remember what I said. If you are not an option, you cannot be the choice. So stop complaining that people are not looking at your direction, that people are not seeing you, that people are not paying attention to you. If you are not an option, you cannot be the choice. You cannot be the choice. If somebody did not win primaries, we cannot vote them as president. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't just come from somewhere and say, oh, me too, I want to run. Run from where? Maybe you're running to your village. But if you want to run for the president, you must be an option. You must be an option. No matter how good you are, if you cannot win the primaries, forget it. You are a gunner. Right? So why are we doing this as a people? is to awaken our awareness so that you know the tactics, to take back control so that you can become a producer and not just a consumer, to speak up, build up content that counters deception with light, clarity, and truth, and then to be able to guide others out of digital slavery into digital purpose. That is what this thing is all about. So let's look at another aspect of our conversation, which is to understand the battlefield. Yeah. You really need to understand the battlefield, right? So that's where we're going now. So if you're feeling me, let me see your emoji. Let me see your emoji. If you're feeling me, I want to see your emojis. Thank you, Bukola. Thank you. I didn't know what to say. Thank you. Confidence. You're feeling me. All right. So I know I am not alone here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Esper. Right. So let's talk about the battlefield. Now, this is it. This is the battlefield, right? Content creation is mind programming. Content creation is mind programming. Whatever it is we want to believe, it is out of the content that we have. You know, while I was preparing for this, I was using one side eye to watch PSG versus Miami, right? So it's unfortunate that the Messi fans don't have anything to fancy right now. Sorry, it was a merciless thrashing of 4-0. Amen. But I was just looking at something. I said they just finished the Champions League in May, and just about 2-3 weeks after, they started another competition. That's the FIFA Club World Cup. And while that is going on, CONCACAF is also going on. There's competition going on in America. There's in South America. There is one in North America. There is one. So you see that these guys have ensured that all year round there is a major sports competition that is ongoing. And I'm like, wow. So you see a lot of men, you think that is because you like football. You like football because they made it one of the topmost options for you. If they didn't make it a topmost option, you would not like it. That's the truth. It was the option. And then you find it everywhere. And because they know that men like money, then they make footballers to be very rich. They pay them extravagantly. So because of the money and the fact that it's everywhere, everybody is attracted to football. It's not because you liked it. That was the option available to you. That's the point. That's the point. Right? So content creation. So those football that we're watching, in fact, they use football to sell some cable TVs in Nigeria. It's football. Most men that buy those cable TVs that subscribe to them, it's because of the football, nothing else. It's the football. Once football is not in session, you see some people, they will not subscribe until maybe they start Champions League again, right? So that's what we're talking about. You need to understand the battlefield, that content creation is mind programming. And like I said earlier, it is a person. Now, one of the things we need to pay attention to is that content is never neutral. It either enforces a mindset or it challenges one. This explains what I just said earlier. It's either it challenges a mindset or it enforces one. So if to build influence, one of the things we must learn to do is to always challenge mindsets. One of the things we must learn to do is to always challenge mindset. Challenge mindset. Don't be afraid to look at what people believe and challenge it. Challenge it. Challenge what they believe. You will be shocked how people will give you attention when you take up their belief, and then you are able to bring the force of reason, and they're like, wow, so this is what I have believed about life. So let's look at the thought process behind digital content, right? Let's look at the thought process. So how does this work? All right, let me open this. How does this work? So let's look at this thought process. So the first one is that for everything you do, you must have an intentional design. Don't just go out and say something without thinking through what you want to do. So there must be an intentional design. Every image, hook, and CTA means call to action, must be crafted to drive emotion. Then I'll say this, that if you want to learn to build influence, the more of the senses that you can appeal to, the more impactful your message. Let me say that again. The more of the senses you can appeal to, the more impactful your message. So, why is YouTube one of the most consumed platforms today? The answer is simple: sight, motion, right? So, when we have five senses. We have the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, the sense of taste, the sense of feeling, and then what's the last one? Mouth, nose, eyes, ear, hearing, yes, hearing, and then the skin, yes. So those five senses. The more of the senses your message can appeal to, the more impactful that message. And that's why you see people improving the quality of their camera, their set design, and all of that, just because they want what they are saying to enter. So if you can appeal to those five senses at the same time, I'm telling you, you will sell. Now, the caveat, remember we said start, even if it is not perfect. So if you wait till you have the tools that can appeal to the five senses, you will not start. So the best thing is to start and keep improving with every production. One of my own mantra is that I must be better every day than I was yesterday. If you can do that as a person, you will be shocked how far you will go in a year. So the second thing in this thing is subtle belief systems. So you should understand that content embeds values about money, success, identity, and all of that. So when you want to change people, don't tell them you are trying to change them. You will miss out. Because one of the challenges that a lot of people make is that we are too direct in our approach. And in trying to be too direct, we are not able to appeal to the emotions of the people. Because it has been shown that most people make decisions with their emotions, not with their senses, not with their mind, not with their brain. It's their emotions. So if you can appeal to the emotions, chances are that you would have better engagement, you will have better commitment. I'll still talk about that. Engagement, growth, and income. We're still going to talk about that. So subtle belief systems. And the third one is reinforcement by algorithm. What does this mean? The more you engage, the more you are fed that worldview. So remember this, you can only choose out of the options. So when an option is presented to you and you keep engaging that option, then that option over time will become your worldview, because as you are engaging, they keep showing you more and more and more and more and more of what you engage with. And the more you engage with it, the more that thing becomes your worldview. I want to paint a scenario and I want us to talk this time. During the NSAS in 2020, I want us to be sincere with me. How many of us felt depressed and we just felt like there's nothing that can come out of this country again? I want to be sincere. Can somebody share their experience? If you can remember NSAS in 2020, right? During that period, how did you feel about yourself and about this country? I want one or two persons to share their experience. Any volunteer, any volunteer. Let's go. I hope you have not slept up on me. Don't sleep off. We are about getting to the end of the conversation. Can I get a volunteer if you, how did you feel? All right, Mr. Tosin, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I could remember during the answers when they shot those people at Lekki. I actually cried. It's like I really cried, and as a man, I did, and I felt defeated. And since then, I used to tell my wife that it would be difficult to have this kind of protest again in Nigeria. Lagos will never allow it. In fact, it's so during June 12th election, there were still police truck mounted around Ojota, even though people were not planning to protest. It shows that they really felt it, the government felt it, but at some point they still found a ways to to shut us up. And it really pained me. It really pained me. So people are really scared this time around to even go out again. So that was how I felt, to be sincere.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your experience. All right, Mr. Femi, you also raise your hand. Olufemi Folusha.
Good evening once again, everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Mine, in fact, I right from the day they hired thugs, to interrupt the protests. Right from that day, I lost it in this country. I lost every bit of hope in this country. That this country, it is beyond remedy. Honestly, now seeing towards the end the way peaceful protesters were treated, killed, injured. So that was it for me.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. So I will tell you what happened to me that period, right? Because of what I do, I couldn't go out to really protest, but I was following online, sharing stuff. But I discovered that at some time I couldn't sleep. I was having nightmares. I would sleep and then I'll be seeing gunshots in my dream. I will be, seeing blood. And sincerely, that period, I was depressed. So at some point, I now sat down and asked myself, I said, guy, who sent you message? It was as if whenever I received any call from somewhere, like somebody was monitoring me, I was really mad. So you know what I did? I had to uninstall Twitter from my phone that period. I uninstalled Twitter from my phone. I just stayed off Twitter. I was doing Facebook. Facebook wasn't as bad as Twitter at that time. And that was one of the reasons they even had to ban Twitter at some point until towards the election when they reopened it. Right? So what I learned from that experience is that the more you engage, the more you are fed the worldview. That experience was one of the reasons many people, that was when the jackpot thing started. Like many of us here said, we lost hope. Some people lost hope, and because they had the means to find themselves in that country, they took that option. The reality is that for many people still waiting is probably because we don't have the means to, we can't afford that option yet. That's why probably some of us are still here. Because in reality, if some of us can afford that option, we probably won't be here. That's the truth. That's the simple truth, right? So the more you engage, the more you are fed that worldview. The more you engage. So I just wanted to bring that in, to emphasize how this concept works, right? So let's go to the penultimate. We are towards the end of our presentation. So I'm going to close with this. Why must you show up? Why you must show up? This is actually the meat of our conversation. This is the meat. No matter what you do, whether you are a Christian content creator, I mean solely Christian or gospel, or you are a business creator, you can achieve these three things: influence, impact, and income. You can achieve them. And I'm going to show you also in the course of the conversations. We are still going to talk more about how you can move in these three directions. We are still going to talk more about it. So it is very, very important that you pay attention. Why must you show up? Why must you show up? There was a quote I dropped in the group: silence is not neutrality. In a noisy world, silence is surrender. In a noisy world, silence is surrender. Everybody around you is shouting about what they do, and you feel like, oh, I cannot shout. I cannot shout. My product will speak for itself. They play. They play. Right? So in the hyper-connected digital age, your presence online is no longer optional, especially if you're a believer with wisdom, experience, and truth to share. The modern marketplace is the social platform. It is your pulpit. It is your mission field. And I want to say this, that growing up online is not about seeking fame. It's not because you want to be popular. It's about fulfilling purpose. It's about owning your influence. It's about becoming a light in spaces that are increasingly shaped by confusion, manipulation, and noise. There's so much noise out there. So the reason you are showing up is not because you want to be famous. It's because you want to fulfill your purpose. It's because you want to own your influence. It's because you want to become a light in the place where there is so much darkness. That's what we are seeking, right? So the person that shapes the platform shapes the perception, and that thing is reality. Remember, if you can't remember anything, you cannot become the choice if you are not an option. If you cannot become the choice, people are choosing every day out of the options available to them. So if you are not one of the options, forget it. You cannot become a choice if you are not one of the options. So the people who shape the platforms shape the perceptions. And like I said, influence is not about being an influencer in quotes. It's the ability to shift minds, to inspire action, to guide others toward what is true, valuable, and transformative. Remember that, to shift mind. How many of us remember shifts? Our mentor, shifts. It's the ability to shift minds, to inspire action, to guide others. That is influence. If you can help one person to change their perspective, to change, to just tweak a little, you have influenced someone. So in this world, we need to remember that what is shaping people's beliefs is feeds, not faith. It's their social media feeds. The more of those things they are seeing, the more their perception is changing. The more they see, the more their perception is changing. The more they see, the more they are perception. So if you are not visible, someone with a louder voice is shaping the narrative. That's the truth. And you know the interesting thing is the people that are doing nonsense that are always loudest. That thing never ceases to amaze me. They talk with so much confidence, so much gusto. You're like, what? This guy is saying rubbish. At least according to your own worldview, what they are saying is rubbish. But interestingly, people prefer the rubbish to somebody that is trying to help them to be morally correct. So you cannot carry experience and insight and values and leave people that are desperately searching for you to be feeding on lies. No, 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 no. That's why this whole thing, we put up this whole thing. So, in our ministry, we talk about, you know, was this unleashing your talent, right? So, like I said, I want the rubber to hit the road. That's why we're doing all of this. We want us to do something about it, and this is very critical. So let us use the digital platform to build our influence. So the second thing is impact, right? Impact. So remember that you are not here just to post, you are here to plant seeds, whether seed for the gospel or seed for your business. And I'll say this, there are some of us that you really, really want to preach the gospel, but at the same time, you need to sell your business. We'll still talk about branding, but I just want to mention this. If possible, have different platforms for the two. On one platform, you are preaching Jesus every day. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. Repent or perish. Fine. That is one platform. On the second platform, make it your business gospel. You are preaching everything about your business. So the way you want to do it is up to you, but I will say that do not confuse your audience about who you are. If you have multiple potentials, have a different platform for each expression, so that you are not confused. It now depends on how well you can manage it. If it's not too much for you, if you need to hire somebody to help you, if you have the money, fine, so that every day you are showing up. I think that works, right? So, but remember that you are not here just to post, you are here to plant seeds. Your words, your experience, your story can unlock healing, can reframe toxic mindsets, can model excellence. You can mentor others. That's what we're talking about. Mentoring, using what you have to help other people, because that's what business is all about anyway. If somebody cannot see that your business is helping them, why should they patronize you? Right? So my encouragement to us is to understand that impact doesn't begin with a stage, it begins with a sentence. Should I say that again? Impact doesn't begin with a stage, it begins with a sentence. Just write something. Just write something. As those inspirations come, one of the things I learned from my digital journey many years ago is the fact that I realized that the more you share, the more you have something to share. Because in the process of creating content, you will have new ideas. That thing never ceases to amaze me. You never run out of content if you commit to sharing. Because in the process of creating one content, your mind will unlock some things in your subconscious that you never even knew you had. I'm telling you. So the third one is to generate income. Value that is hidden cannot be rewarded. Let your light shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Value that is hidden cannot be rewarded. Now, many of us here, you've spent years building value, wisdom, frameworks. You've done so many things. It is time to package yourself, to position yourself, and present that value in a way that solves problems for others. Even preaching the gospel, you can use it to make money. If you write a book, for example, some of us are so gifted in starting conversations. That gift, you can write a book on evangelism. The same gift, you can write a book on how to sell. The principle is the principle of selling. I'm telling you, it's the same principle. How to sell. So you use the language of the Bible for one, you use the language of business for the other. It's the same gift. So how do you turn all those experiences into products? We'll still talk about it in the course of this training. So you don't want to miss anything this month. How do you turn these ideas, these thoughts, your experience, everything you've gathered all these years, how do you turn them into a product that can solve problems? We're still going to talk about that, right? So, and then before you know it, you can use that to create multiple streams of income, right? So let me share with us briefly how you can make money online. We're still going to talk about it, like I said, but this one is just the surface. You can become a consultant. You can create courses, coaching, resources. And when you become visible enough, if you continue doing what you're doing, you become a visible expert. Confidence does something on offering high ticket products and services, right? So the more visible you are as an expert in your niche, the more you can charge. That's the more visible you are. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, when you are visible, you also attract referrals, speaking gigs, partnerships. People will just want to give you their money because they can see what you have done. Can see what you have done. So all of these things help to build your creativity. So before we close, right, we still have about 20 minutes, right? So I want to hear our thoughts based on the things we've shared. What is a take home for you? I'm going to call on people that have not said anything today at all. You must talk. The rule in this place is that you must talk. You must talk. Nobody is going to leave this place, all right, without talking, right? So what's your take home from the session we've had today? What are you going with? What are you going with? Right. So who wants to volunteer? Who wants to volunteer? Mr. Ashai, Mr. Makinde, Mr. Badru. Why you've not said anything? Who is Buntiti? I'm not sure another person. Right, you've not said anything. If I call your name, just unmute and say something. Emmanuel Odumosi, you've not said anything today. Magdalene Ezekiel, I know I've seen your emojis. All right, so Shayu, okay, Shayu Olamide, please go ahead. What's your take home from the conversation today?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, one thing that stood out for me, and it's because it's I can relate to it, is actually the last statement that says, "Of that says feed shapes people's belief."
Feed shapes perception.
Yeah, not faith, and I so much agree with it because based on business and also based on trying to speak with people about Jesus, I've come in contact with all those limitations. So while you were talking, I was just like, oh, okay, so that is why this happened. That is why this happened. So, and also with my business as well. I run a cake business. I make cakes, and also I'm a teacher. So even trying to help the children, you find out that they are inspired today in your class, but when they go home, they come back like what you said is just as flown through the window, because what is before them, the options before them, are what they are choosing from. My own is not as loud as what they hear or what they consume. in their respective environment. So I really held on to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. All right. So who else? Okay, Mr. Adeno, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for all the things you said. For me, the thing you emphasize more is what stood out for me. If you are not an option, you cannot be a choice. So push to become an option, then to become the choice. I think this one thing I want to run with from tonight's session. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Any other person? Okay, Laide Olabode, please go ahead. Laide Olabode, you are muted. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I
Good
think
evening.
one of the lines that really stood out to me was who's shaping you, who or what's shaping you. I can't remember, but I think it
Yeah.
really stood out to me because I'm also right now because lately I've been more particular about what I consume, whether it's the music, whether it's the movies, or whether it's social media. Because I realized that, especially Twitter, I'm a Twitter person. I've been on Twitter for over 14 or 15 years, and but I realized that on Twitter, um, certain mindsets or certain ways of thinking started to really collide with mine, and I had to take a step back to say, is this my own original thought? Is this how I feel about this a particular issue, or am I letting what other people think influence me about maybe relationships, marriage, about faith and everything? So that line is still ringing in my head, and is maybe something I need to write somewhere, that so that every time I'm consuming any type of content, anytime I'm coming across any type of maybe multimedia, maybe it's TV, music, or whatever, I'm asking myself, is this shaping me? How is this affecting me? Because, like you said, it's subtly shaping us, it's subtly influencing us. We might not know it, but it is. So, yeah, so that stood out to me.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Oyebola Olowoyeye. You're muted, Oyebola. You're muted. You want to go ahead? All right, who else wants to talk before we call it a wrap? Okay, let's
Uh,
see. All right. Oh, I can't do it. You were talking. Okay.
yes. Okay. So my takeaway from this is the statement: if I'm not an option, I can't be the choice. I think that particular statement really gets to me. Well, which means that I need to put myself out there with content that can make me to be an option to my desired. I mean, my desired audience, so that they can actually think of choosing my product or services anytime they need such. So this visibility is something that I really need to work on in my career and in my business pursuits, because most times I just feel that it's not important to really bring those services that I know I can excellently render to public view. But from what you've shared so far, I realize that there's a need for visibility and to be very deliberate and intentional about it, so that I can reach out to the people I want to reach. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Really appreciate that. All right. So, Mr. Tosin.
Okay, thank you very much. The thing that struck me is the first stages of digital world dominance. Trust me, it's a powerful tool, and a few of the people, or a few people understands these things very well, and most of them are even people in the world. I will use the example, Tunde Ednut. When Tunde Ednut started in, give or take, 2020 or 2020, Tunde Ednut was not even around doing NSAS. And I don't know, I'm not sure it was, but he used this concept so well. I can categorically tell you that he's one of the people that actually brought VDM to life. That's very dark man that they talk about to limelight, because he was always posting his analysis and so on and so forth. And he had so many celebrities around him that could fund. So he really used these stages so well. And there was a time that, I wouldn't lie, I was so addicted to his page, not because of the nonsense, but I trust his news at some point. And just like what Lide said, you have to retrospect and say, no, you can't continue to watch this kind of page. Like, you need to feed yourself with something different. You need to start consuming something different. And sincerely, I learned a lot about this digital world dominance. And even though I have a bit of experience in digital marketing, for example, we can, if you are running digital ads normally, you can control based on interest. Like, if this person is watching this thing for 5 seconds, he has put an interest. Or you can use this kind of affinity marketing, like people who are interested in what you are selling to. But I don't see it in these 4 stages. Before, we just understand it as the normal algorithm to set, but these 4 stages is a big, in fact, is a great insight for me, to be sincere. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Tosi. I'm grateful. All right, Mrs. Shalabomi, that will be the last contribution for tonight, so that we can leave before 10. Right.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Everything actually jumped at me. And the truth is, it's not as if I've not been hearing about these things. I've been hearing about them. But the particular one that really struck me was the fact that you have to be intentional about your design. You were talking about the fact that every gesture, every word, every image has a role to play, and it goes a very long way. But I like the caveat you put, that is not to say that because you don't have the perfect camera or you don't have the perfect tools, you should not start. Start, but continue to get better. And then to link it up with that part that you said, the more you share, the more you have to share, which is very true. Like, we're afraid sometimes when you have to go on stage to do a presentation, you're afraid, you're like, they've given me one hour to say something, and you're like, what am I going to say in 1 whole hour? In fact, like when we started this, should I call it a class? When we started this evening, I was like, Kila saw for 2 hours. What are we saying for 2 hours? But when you just went on and on and on, I was like, oh, there is a lot to hear in this thing. So if you really do your assignments, truly you discover that you have so much to say. You just continue to get more and more and more ideas. Thank you, sir.
All right, I want to say thank you to everyone who said something tonight. That's very encouraging. And I'm glad that nobody's left on me today, because I know how long our Sundays can be. Right. So let's conclude the conversation, and then we will tell us what we are doing next. So closing reflection, I want us to think about it. This challenge isn't about becoming famous, because if your why is faulty, your process will be faulty. And the thing about becoming a digital giant is that your purpose will determine your pursuits, right? It will determine how far you can go. So This challenge isn't about becoming famous. It's about becoming faithful stewards of influence in this generation. It's about becoming faithful stewards of influence. So I want to challenge someone. You've been silent long enough. Now it's time to speak, write, post, and lead. All right. So somebody say to yourself, I have been silent long enough. Now it is time for me to speak, to write, to post, and to lead. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for being an amazing audience. And like I said, I'm really grateful because I can imagine how this day has been for every one of us. I can really imagine. Right? So, what we're going to do basically through the 4 weeks in July. So I want to say that up front. So week one, we're looking at mindset and identity shift. Mindset and identity shift. That's the class we are doing tomorrow. So you don't want to miss it. So the focus of tomorrow is to grow from becoming an expert for hire. That's whatever it is you do now that somebody is paying you to run for them, to visible authority. How can you grow from becoming that person that everybody is, you're paying salary and doing all of that? Then you want to become a visible authority such that people see you, people know you, for the values that you bring to the marketplace. So that is one thing that I want us to pay attention to. Then the second one is digital personal branding. Digital personal branding, right? We have one of our facilitators who that's what he does for a living. In fact, he wrote a book. The title of the book, Look Really Good. Yeah, look really good about. So he's going to share with us how you can brand yourself for influence. That's our week 2. Then week 3, we'll look at platform strategy and tools. Platform strategy and tools. That's what we look at week 3. So we're going to look at all the popular platforms and how you can position yourself on all of those platforms. That's what we look at in week 3. Then week 4, which is the icing on the cake, monetization and influence. Monetization and influence. So that's how you are able to build influence, to build monetization online, how you can turn your products, your services, your idea, your wisdom into offers, into products, services, collaborations, into something you can sell. So that is the income part of this. So it's going to be amazing. So each week we'll be having live group coaching. We are starting tomorrow. Like I said, I didn't have time to run the analysis, so I'm not sure of what time is convenient for the most of us yet. So I will go through the analysis tonight before I sleep, or very early tomorrow morning, right? So then when we run the analysis, I'll discuss with my partners. Then we choose the time that you people say is most convenient for you. So I know from what I saw, most people, from the last time I saw it was when we had 20-something people, and out of those 20-something, some said they would prefer Saturday morning, right? So, but we're going to run through it to see which one works for us. So, if we see that is still like the best option, then we'll have to work with it, somehow to see how we can make the most out of it. So, and we'll also be sharing with us the requirements for the week. Like I said, today is onboarding, so we are not really starting something, so much like that. So there are only about 35 of us on this call and about 57 people registered. So what do we do for the people that did not make tonight's class? Class governors, what do we do to your people who did not make tonight's class? Oh yeah, the class reps. or you have not assumed your beauty. So some people just joined the group tonight. So what do we do for them? Mr. Confidence, what do you think?
Yes, so thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. So I realized that some people were here earlier, but they have left for some reason. So because I took quite a couple of screenshots, we need to identify some
Oh,
people.
okay. Some people were actually in, then they left.
Yes, some
Okay,
people have
even
left.
now
I'm saying
we've dropped to 32 now. We were 36 at some point.
yeah, there was some point. So some people were there in and out. So some people witnessed an hour and a half, of it. So the number here is not the full and accurate representation of the people that participated.
Okay.
But with
So
that participation, we are
what do
happy
you
to.
suggest we should do for the especially the people that missed out
Missed
completely?
out completely, especially
Because
the rules.
if you miss this entire session, I don't know how we can we can rewind. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do this, right? So we recorded the session. So if we can get the link tonight, I will post the link on the group. And the assignment is that anyone who didn't miss the live class would watch the video and give us like 5 takeaways for them, what they learned from it. So those that did the assignments will be pardoned. Those that did not do the assignment will have to let them go. They'll wait for the next cohort. I think that's what we'll do. Does that sound fair enough? All right. So
Yes,
fair
that's
enough.
good.
Yes. So we'll get the recording. We share, and I know some of us too may want to go over it again. So we'll make the recording available to us. But they must do the assignment before we commence the weekly activities on Tuesday. Tuesday is July 1. So the reason we're having these 2 night classes is because we want to start July 1 and end July 30. It's 30 days of engagement. So if we had waited till July 1 before we have this class, that means we would have shifted the goalpost till July 3. And I didn't want that to happen. I want us to start July 1. So July 1, we know we are starting our 30 days challenge, and we're going to take it like that till the 30th of July. Right. So once again, thank you everyone. Oh, bro Samuel Adeyemi, thank you so much for making it eventually. I know you said you'll be at a meeting, and thank you to everyone. So we'll see again tomorrow for our first class, right? Today is onboarding, so tomorrow we take the class, and then by at the end of tomorrow will give us the assignment, what we are supposed to do for day 1. So day 1 is on Tuesday, which is July 1. So we hit the ground running. So I want to say a big thank you, everyone. Let's have a refreshing night, and see you soon. Bye. Have a great evening. God bless you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Thank you,
Thank you,
all the
sir. Good
partners.
night,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you
God
very
bless
much.
you.
That's
Good
good
night,
night,
Bye.
all.
everyone.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
sir.
An eye-opener indeed.
Good
Bye.
night,
Look
sir.
forward
Yes,
to
everyone.
becoming a better version of us soon.
Yes, I can't wait for it. I can't really wait for it. Yeah. So let's have a good evening. Uh,
Good night, everyone.
bye, good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.